Just about 3 days ago, we had Hurricane Milton make landfall in the Tampa Bay area as a powerful Category 3 hurricane, cutting a swath of destruction from Tampa Bay all the way over to the east coast of Florida, exiting as a Category 1 hurricane. Now, this is insane and unheard of. I grew up here in Florida, and this storm really caused a tremendous amount of damage because of the way it came in. It came in and didn't just skirt the coast. It didn't just cut across a little bit of an area. I mean, this cut across the state of Florida, and it brought unprecedented, we're talking 100-year. We haven't seen things like this in 100 years of floodwaters, in which we're talking 18 inches in 6 hours. This affected so many people. People who live inland, like me in Wesley Chapel, we felt the effects of the storm. People on the coast, remember, 2 weeks ago, we had Hurricane Helene skirt the coast of Florida, which brought massive storm surge, 4, 5, 6 feet of storm surge to the coastal area of Florida, all the way up the Gulf Coast, not even just in the Tampa Bay area. We're talking almost the entire, probably what, 2/3 of Florida was affected by that storm and storm surge, causing massive, massive devastation. The likes that we've never seen. As a firefighter, I deployed to various locations and saw a lot of devastation over my years of career. And it's just, this is really bad because it's so widespread and it's heartbreaking. And, you know, my heart goes out to everyone that is affected by this. And technically, I mean, everybody is affected by this. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to recently, checking on friends, customers, you know, just random people that I just talked to throughout the last couple of days that are just done with Florida. And some friends of mine that were gonna move to Florida, they're rethinking this. And I understand that, I really, really do. When you look at the devastation and how many people were affected, you know, these people that I'm speaking to are saying, well, listen, you're in Wesley Chapel, and that's 30 some odd miles in from the coast, and you still felt the effects of the storm, like heavy effects from the storm. And it was just the way the storm came through. Can I say that it'll never happen again? Of course not. But I mean, we're talking power outages here, trees down, flooding, debris through windows, and a lot of the stuff out here is new construction, and you've heard me talk about that before. And I just went over to a neighborhood yesterday, not even a mile from me, and it's newer than my neighborhood, and I can't tell you how many roofs were damaged by the storm, how many roofs have shingles ripped off, and they still don't have power. It's been 3 days, they still don't have power. And I know the power crews are working their butts off to get this done, and we appreciate everything. And I mean, I'm telling you, we're getting back up and running as fast as I've seen, you know, in my years here from the storm damage. But people are still without power, and it scared a lot of people, and I completely understand that. So when I asked why are they considering moving, or what, is it just the storm? You know, because these things don't happen every day. And you do know they're coming in, you can take precautions, but the couple of things that they're saying is like, just, they can't imagine, and I can't either, coming home after a storm and having to take out all of your personal belongings, everything, literally everything, and put it on the curb for the trash man to come and get. And that's heartbreaking. Just what I saw after Helene, it was so sad to see all that destruction, and my heart goes out. So I understand why people don't want to move here. You know, they're also concerned about the economy, and rightfully so. You know, let's think about that. Tourism is a big thing here. Will the economy come back? Of course it will. Will tourism come back? Of course it will. We're going to rebuild, but how quickly will we rebuild here to where people can start staying and enjoying, you know, Clearwater Beach, Sand Key, St. Pete Beach? You know, when we just had that 1-2 punch. The storm destroyed or damaged so many homes on the coast. They lost windows, partial roof just from that storm surge. And then 2 weeks later, here comes Milton with the wind. And now you're getting 100 and some odd mile an hour sustained winds with bigger gusts than that, ripping through these homes and just devastating them. And some of these they're condemned now. And what do people do? So they can't work. And if they didn't live on the coast and they were spared from the storm surge, they were inland a little bit more, but now we just had Milton, and it could have potentially damaged their home, or some of the stuff like in Trinity. Days later, the rivers are cresting because all the runoff water now it's got to go somewhere, so it's going into the rivers, and they're cresting because of the amount of rainwater we had. So there were firefighters and police and military out rescuing people yesterday. This is 2 days after the storm hit, because the river crested and started flooding neighborhoods miles and miles inland. And they're not we're not talking they're sitting on the river, like they're looking at the river at the back of their house. They're far away from the river, but the water's going to go somewhere. You can't stop it. It's going to find a path. So I understand the economy. And then if you look at how long is it going to take to rebuild things, that's going to hurt the economy. With such a wide amount of destruction, you're talking months or even years possibly to rebuild some of these commercial structures and just homes in general. And then where do you stay while your house is being rebuilt and you're waiting your turn for the contractor who's probably got limited supplies because of such the demand now has gone through the roof? And is that demand now going to cause the prices to go up in an already overinflated market? I don't know. But then it brings us to insurance. We already had a crazy insurance market, and we know that. And what's this going to do to it with these two storms back to back like this and the amount of damage? Again, what's it going to do? It's no wonder people are tired and probably have PTSD from the first storm to the second storm. People are done and, like I said, leaving. And I get it. What if you don't have the money to rebuild your house because you didn't have flood insurance? Maybe you're in a zone X and you're inland and you're not thinking that you have to worry about storm surge or the hurricane, the massive amounts of hurricane rainwaters flooding your house. And you didn't have flood insurance, so now maybe you're not covered. And you've got to come out of pocket to repair your house, and you don't have the money to do that. What are you going to do? That's a hard situation to be in, and maybe you don't have a job now because of where you worked. It's tough for everybody. My heart goes out. So I start seeing these investors now coming out in droves, offering to buy up, especially on the coastal homes where some of them were condemned because they got hit twice, and people didn't have insurance. So they're going to purchase your home pennies on the dollar, and then they're going to knock it down, and they're going to put up a stilt home for $1 million, and they're going to make money. So what's going to happen to our real estate economy? I have no idea. I really don't. I don't even want to speculate, to be honest with you. I don't think it's the right time. I just would say that if you're in that position where an investor is looking like the correct option for you, your situation, and your family, just approach that with caution. Make sure, just read everything, understand what your options are. Make sure that you're just not missing something. I'm not saying they all take advantage, but it's a time of crisis, and unfortunately, when there's a crisis, sometimes people come out that are less than scrupulous, and they're going to take advantage of a situation and an emotional situation that try not to make. It's easier said than done, but try not to make a decision based off your emotions. Try to settle it aside. This is super fresh, and just take a minute and figure out where things are going and get settled, and then you can make some decisions. And if there's somebody you can call and talk to them, bounce things off, get different opinions and ideas, I'll be happy to help you with whatever I can. I don't know what it would be, but I would say make sure that you read anything, make sure that they give you, make sure you've spoken with your insurance provider and what you can and can't do, and whether or not something's covered or not covered, and then how much it's going to be to repair things. And then, we're looking at budgets. How much is it going to cost to live here after the storm? Like I said, insurance rates are through the roof. I can only imagine that they're going to go up again. It's just logic that insurance rates are going to go up, when it comes to renewals again. And, even Citizens is starting to require flood insurance now, and this is why. I mean, really, this is why, because they've learned that areas that aren't prone to flooding can potentially flood. You just don't know. This is Mother Nature, and these are massive storms. So I know there's no perfect place to live. You know, if you go back up north, you got blizzards and such. Now, to me, that would be a no-go. I can't, in my head, wrap it around living in the snow and in a blizzard. That would terrify me. You've got wildfires out in other areas, which are terrifying. You know, you've got tornadoes in certain areas of the country. You know, there's no perfect place, but there's a perfect place for you and your family, and that fits your situation to the best. Or I'm sure there's a little, if you do know a perfect place, let me know, because I would really like to know where a mix of everything, where it's not too bad on any of the natural disaster fronts would be. And maybe we'll do a video on that too. But yeah, let me know. I would love to know. And like I said, I appreciate you watching the video. And if there's anything I can do to help, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try to point you in the right direction. Be patient right now. Everybody is taking time. There's so many people affected. Contractors, I can't even get a hold of some of the contractors that I have good relationships with right now, just because they're so busy. When you're out on the road, there's still a lot of areas that are damaged. They still don't have power. Fuel's limited in the area still. Even out here in Wesley Chapel, fuel is very limited. So just be patient. Let's all work together and stay safe. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.